Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news. The hottest topic at the moment that's going around is, will Nicolas Jackson be called back in January, knowing that Delap is injured for another 2 months? Well, supposedly for 2 months. And a lot of people are not happy with Delap. A lot of people are not happy with the options that we have. Some people have lost trust on Joao Pedro. Some people obviously has zero trust on Guiu, and they don't like the options of Neto and George. So let's bring back Nicolas Jackson, because we all miss Nicolas Jackson. We've forgotten what type of mistakes he made last season, or the gilded chances he's missed. This guy barely even plays for Bayern Munich. But let's call him back, right? The other option is Emegha. Emegha, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, Chelsea's taking the stance that they don't want to call him back. Let him finish the season off with Strasbourg, and we'll think about it, come next season. So this is the hottest news that's going around. People are very upset that Chelsea directors, owners are not backing the manager, and it is frustrating everyone. My thoughts about the whole thing before we get into the news. Before we even think about buying anyone, and to be honest, I'm sick and tired of buying people. Really, I am. And who are we going to get? That's the other thing. You look at Isak in Liverpool. Is he firing in all cylinders? No, he's not. You look at Gyökeres in Arsenal. Is he firing in all cylinders? No, he's not. Chelsea Football Club tried to get Ekitike. Ekitike ended up choosing Liverpool. And look at the mess Liverpool's in. Yes, his returns have been all right. And in the last probably 5-6 games, in the last 2 games, Ekitike has scored. But prior to that, he went through a bit of phase, 4-5 games where he didn't score, right? Chelsea Football Club has tried their best to get Osimhen as well, but Osimhen's salary were just crazy. There's a reason why he's in Galatasaray, because in the Turkish league, there's a lot of madness happening. You see the gambling scandals that's going over there. Players are able to get paid under the table. This is not some sort of a secret. It's an open secret. Everyone knows about this. Players like Leroy Sané ends up going there, and many other superstars. Why are they going to Turkish league? Because they can pay a lot more money. And we, as the Chelsea fan base, we've got PTSD, or whatever you call it, man. PTSD. I think that's what you say. We've got problems when we bring in strikers with high amount of wages. We tend to get scared that, are they going to work out? Look at Lukaku. Kai Havertz played as striker for us for a moment, and he was on high wages. Did he work out? So I get to a certain point why we are going in the direction that we're going. I also understand that our SDs, our sporting directors and owners, probably didn't do enough in the last transfer market in the summer window to really bolster and give this manager an opportunity. But at the same time, I have to say, and I want to know what you guys have to say as well, I feel like the squad isn't as poor as being same points as Man United. Please, no one can convince me that the squad is at the same level as Man United's one, and this is why we're in the same points. I'm sorry. We can't be sitting here one day saying, oh, the squad's good enough because it beats Barcelona, it beats Liverpool, it can compete against PSG. And then the very next day, oh, the squad's not good enough because it can't beat Leeds, it can't beat Bournemouth, it can't beat Sunderland, it can't beat Man United, a rubbish Man United team, it can't beat Brentford. I'm sorry. As I said, there are clubs out there who've got superstars and it's not clicking. Florian Wirtz is another one, not clicking. Arsenal, look at their attack. Is that clicking? Ultimately, my thought is, and we're going to go through the news, as I said, very, very soon. Leeds, look at the way they competed. Even Bournemouth, look at the way they competed. Bournemouth should have won our recent game. Ultimately, you can have all the superstars in your team. But if you don't have the fundamentals, if you don't have the basics, if you don't have the mentality to rise to the occasion and fight, it don't matter. Leeds don't have that many names, but they rise to the occasion. They want to fight and they try and get points out of it. Obviously, they're not doing well. They're one of the teams that are going to fight in the relegation battle. But the point is, you have to fight. You don't necessarily need to have the best team out there to win everything. Liverpool supposedly had the best team. Look at the mess they're in. Aston Villa. Did anyone think Aston Villa had a best team? They're 3 points away from Arsenal. Aston Villa's first 5 or 6 games were, I'm pretty sure, 4 losses and 2 draws of this season. At that point, everyone was writing Aston Villa off. Unai Emery, manager, doing a madness over there. Aston Villa are always on the verge every window to letting go of their superstars, letting go of their players. Have a look at some of the transfers. That's players that have left Aston Villa over the past few windows. How they keep competing all the time? Because they've got the fundamentals. Now let's look at the news, and we're going to delve into this situation even more. Chelsea will not give Nicolas Jackson the chance to return this season after he refused to terminate his loan at Bayern at the end of the summer window. If you guys remember, who got injured? Someone got injured. Delap got injured. And then we wanted to bring Nicolas Jackson back. And Nicolas Jackson was on the verge of going to Bayern Munich at that time. He was very happy. He got the loan move, very excited, and he didn't want to come back because we got the injury from Delap. He did not want to come back. Chelsea would not be bringing forward the Emegha deal either to cover for Delap. Maresca's options are Joao Pedro, Neto, Guiu, and George. First, let's take care of Emegha. I fully get it. I don't really want him to move forward his move to Chelsea. Let him finish up at Strasbourg. It's disrespectful to Strasbourg as well. Let him finish up there, complete the season, get a little bit more experience, and come to Chelsea Football Club. No problems. I think there's a player there, but he's not levels. There's a lot of development that he needs to go through. I think he might find Premier League a little bit difficult initially. So that's one thing. Now, Joao Pedro, Neto, Guiu, George. All of a sudden, people don't rate Joao Pedro. Not that long ago, people were rating him. Now, he's not a good player. We need to delve deeper. One, there was a knock. He's been carrying a knock. Enzo Maresca has alluded to that. He's been carrying a knock. Two, have you look at our game against Leeds, look at our game against Bournemouth, the last 2 especially, and some of the other ones where we drop points. We don't seem to create good enough opportunities on a regular basis. We only seem to do that against teams like Barcelona when they want to play high up, and that opens up the back line, and we have plethora of chances. We tend to do well against teams that want to play football. Arsenal as well. With a man down, we looked very good. We should have won. But when teams want to be a little bit resolute, and I'm not going to always say sit back because these teams want to press as well and come forward, but when they want to be resolute in defense, how often have you seen that we've created amazing opportunities? We've done mad link-up plays, great dribbling, created brilliant space up front into the box, opened up, opportunities for our midfielders, our wingers. And how often? No, I haven't seen often enough. So how can I sit here and say, oh, Joao Pedro's bad, Neto's bad? Mark Guiu as well. He's doing everything possible that is required of him to do. He's pressing hard. He's showing great intensity, good energy, good behavior. But if you're not going to create stuff for him, how can we sit here and say, oh, he's a rubbish player? Neto, if anything, he's actually been scoring goals and providing goals as well. Cole Palmer's been injured for a while. He's only recently come back, and he's not looking sharp enough as yet because he's missed a lot of football. Estevao is being managed. He doesn't get to play all the time. Other players need to lift. Enzo Fernandez needs to lift. It also doesn't help when players keep getting red carded on a regular basis. Caicedo, for instance, recent one. But then there's certain instances where we still had enough in the squad to beat other teams. We still had enough to beat Brentford. We still had enough to beat Man United. We still had enough to beat Brighton. Still had enough to beat Leeds. But if you're not going to compete, it don't matter what names you have. I'm telling you right now, you can get prime players in our team, but if they are not willing to compete for duels, for second balls, forget your tactics, forget everything. So now what does it come down to? And this is why I've been focusing a lot on the manager this season. Yes, the manager's a rookie manager. The manager's learning as well. But it's not about just people out there saying, Miz, give the manager everything. Give him why does a manager need every single bits and pieces available in the market for him to work out. You have to deal with what you've been given as well. And what you've been given is not bad. Cucurella, very good player. Reece James, very good player. Malo Gusto, very good player. Moses Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, list goes on. Santos, Esteval. Literally a week ago, we were saying, oh, one of the best depth, one of the most solid squads out there. Chelsea Football Club, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone. And then a couple of bad results. And now all of a sudden, oh, we want to blame the owners. We want to blame... Look, I've been blaming the owners and the sporting directors for a very, very long time. I'm just fed up of it. I'm fed up. It's the nonsense merry-go-round all the time. And it's sickening. We need to start looking at it in a far more objective manner. Yes, fully agree. The SDs should have done a little bit more last season. Well, last summer. But there's still enough. When are we going to sit here and say, do you know what? Maybe the manager, why are you unable to get these players to rise up to the smaller teams? Why are you unable? For some reason, these players seem to be rising against PSG, Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona. Why can't they rise against the smaller teams? What's happening? Are you not motivational enough? Or a lot of people have been saying tactically as well, Maresca overthinking a few things. Well, recently, Tosin, the inclusion of Tosin against Leeds. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the manager is, blameless. No, he needs to galvanize this team. And he needs to find a little bit more, because in order to compete against Everton, that's our next Premier League game. I know we've got Atalanta, and I don't know what's going to happen there, to be honest, away from home. That could be a miserable game. I'm not sure. But you've got enough to beat these teams. You've got enough to beat Atalanta. You've got enough to beat Everton. You've got enough to beat, Newcastle as well. I can understand if you're going toe-to-toe against, I don't know, your Bayern Munichs, your PSGs, your Man Cities. I can understand that. Okay, do we have every facets covered? No. But the funny thing is we seem to be okay in those games. So, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is, look, yes, we can dip into the market, but I'm fed up. On top of that, who are you going to get into the market, man? And are they going to click straight away? Look at the players, caliber of players we used to have once upon a time, man, not that long ago. Last season, Nkunku, Joao Felix, all of these players, they flopped. Lukaku flopped. Kai Havertz flopped. We've had names before, man. Harry Kane's probably the only striker you could possibly think about that could really elevate our level. He ain't coming to Chelsea Football Club right now. Who's he going to get from the Premier League? Let's just think about it. Which striker would you get? Calvert-Lewin was looking better when we played against Leeds. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was looking levels against us. Nemecha was looking levels against us. It's not about getting names out there. It's about, I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to finish it off like this. You have to have the right mentality to compete. If you don't compete, forget about it. Forget about it. Oh, by the way, Nicolas Jackson. Lastly, Nicolas Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, we need to forget about Nicolas Jackson. Okay? I love Nicolas Jackson. I think it was a fantastic, it was a good player. I wouldn't say fantastic player. It was a very good player. I fully understand his skill set and whatnot. But the relationship with Enzo Maresca ended. Please do your research. Go online. You'll see several sources, top journalists talking about this. And I get it as well. Because of some of the stupidity that Nicolas Jackson got to last season. Let's not sit here and try and pretend that, he never wanted to leave Chelsea Football Club. No, look, it was both parties wanted to part ways. Okay? Jackson wanted to part ways. Chelsea thought, you know what? Perfect time to cash in. Maresca's not really working out with Nicolas Jackson either. If you remember, Cole Palmer, the way he snapped, in the final against PSG on Nicolas Jackson. Just look back. Like it was over. Okay, it was over. Fabrizio Romano coming out and talking about Nicolas Jackson, the story with Chelsea is over. It cannot be fixed. Much like what's happening with, Salah, for example. His story with Liverpool's over. So who are you going to get now? You got to make do with what you have. You got Joao Pedro. Utilize him. See what you can do best to get the best. See what you can do to get the best out of him. Cole Palmer's back as well. Yeah, he's not playing against Atalanta, but Estevan's there. You got to do more. That's all I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen. Enzo Maresca needs to do more. I'm not Enzo Maresca out. I like him, but he needs to do more. I'm not going to sit here and just keep screaming about SDs and owners nonstop because it is stupid to do that on a regular. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are, how you feel about all of this, because it's always important to know what you guys are thinking. Please comment below. Till next time, take care. See ya. Bye.